Well, actually, the victory story, you kind of went into it. Now, I guess that's a good segue into it. What can you tell us more about it? Because I'd like to hear it. Ian knows a lot more about the music industry. I know about listening to it, but he gets into some of the down and dirty stuff. I'd like to know what they did to really screw you and
Yeah.
screw you over, is what it sounds like they did.
Yes. Well, okay. So when we got signed by Victory, we were on the outside of the music business. We're a new band. San Diego is not necessarily the hub of the music scene. So we didn't know the players. We didn't know who had a reputation, who was cool,
Sure.
who sucked. We didn't know any of that stuff. We just knew, Victory Record had Darkest Hour, it had Between the Buried and Me, it had Hatebreed. And so those were bands that we liked. And why would you not? Hey, dude, everyone knows Victory Record. We could be on MTV2, Headbangers Ball and all this stuff. And then again, you get a contract and you see, 27,500. That was what our deal was for. And your mind's just blown, right? You tell me we get almost 30 grand to make a record. We just did a record for $600. You're like this. We did it. We made it. And what we didn't know was that, Victory Records has a reputation, and the people that run that label and owned that label at the time, it's since sold, but at the time they had a reputation in the music industry. We didn't know any of that, and so we sign our deal and start doing our thing, and we quickly realized that, the honeymoon is over. Now that we signed on the dotted line, we're in their world, and they're going to decide all the rules.
Okay.
And there was you know I guess personality differences or clashes. You can just chalk those up to different people, but we had a lot of clashes with their staff as far as how they were trying to market the band and what their perception of us was. And then we come to find out there's some language in the contract that's really not to our favor. And one line in particular, uh, cross collateralization of royalties. Watch out for that one, because that means is that when you generate royalties for them, right? So our first record, them, it charted on Billboard and went on to sell almost 40,000 copies. And this is CDs. So there's money in CDs.
Yeah.
Not a mountain of money. Maybe there's 30, 40, 50 grand owed to the band, something like that. Well, what cross collateralization of royalties allowed the label to do was take that money that was coming in, and rather than pay it to us, they were allowed to redirect it into marketing cost. Now, the way deals are structured is essentially it's a really bad bank loan. So your royalty rate is what you get paid back at. And so our royalty rate was 11%, very poor. That meant every dollar they spent on us, you don't pay it back one to one. You pay it back with your
Gotcha.
royalty percentage, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, we got a bank loan at 89% interest, right? Which is insane. That's predatory lending, right? But music industry is the Wild West. There are no rules, no unions, no associations. It's just more good luck. So when you take, let's say you have $50,000 that a band earned through royalties. If you say, oh well, you know what, we're gonna keep this record pumped up, and we're gonna put all this back into marketing. That 50 grand that they spent marketing now, think about how much you have to generate to
Jeez.
repay it back at an 89% interest rate, right? Your 11% pittance is what's paying back that 50. And so what that them allows them to do is to actually never disperse any funds to the band. Any money generated, they just go, oh, well, we're going to put that into marketing. And then you have to then pay back that marketing. It's like infinite money glitch for the label,
Wow.
right? And so that's what happened, and that's what they did for years and years and years and years. And when I say this, we never got a penny from them. That's not hyperbole. I'm not paraphrasing. We literally Never got 1 cent in royalties from them ever. I've never received a royalty check from Victory Records ever. And all in, we've sold about 110,000 albums for them.
Jeez,
Never
yeah.
seen a cent, nothing.
Did you ever try
So
to go into them and try, hey guys, you guys are, or was it just hey, we got screwed and you're just gonna have to eat it? That's just how it goes.
So yeah, I mean, so then it comes down to, right, like how much of a legal battle can you mount
Ah,
here? And as an underground metal band, the few bucks that we make, they're going to all of us in the band because, right, you split everything 5 ways,
yeah.
and we're trying to keep the lights on here at home. And you can look up a really it was kind of an infamous lawsuit in, I think, maybe 2013 or so. This band called The Day to Remember, who was on Victory Records, and they were
Who
very
is
popular.
throw in there bringing in all the money.
Very popular band, way more popular than we were. Like selling out like stadiums, not stadiums, but like really big venues, arenas, I guess. So they do have the money to mount a legal defense, and they're selling millions of records, not getting any money. So they get a legal team and they go after them and they sue, and they uncover like $7 million in unpaid royalties. And they went to court with it. It took years to play out, and the court ruled in their favor. And Victory had been doing what everybody knew they were doing, which is essentially keeping money from their artists that the artists were legally due. And yeah, so Victory lost that lawsuit. A Day to Remember won. You can Google that and see all the numbers right there. And that actually that kind of was the end of the label. Honestly, I think they got bought not too long after that. Other bands had sued them. That band Atreyu had sued them, and they settled. I know bands that went on to bigger labels. They went through lawsuits, but the bigger labels were funding it to get them out of their deal, so the bigger label could sign them. That band, Taking Back Sunday, I think, had that situation. Big, like a big rock band. So yeah, we didn't know any of this when we signed, right? You just, you see your buddy's band on the label, you think about MTV, and you see a dollar sign, and it's like, what else is there to think about? Let's go. And then once you get into it, you realize, wow, this probably wasn't the best deal we could have signed. Maybe a lawyer would have been a good idea, but back to that whole not knowing much when you're 20.